And for more on the federal election, we are joined live by Shakir Chambers, Vice President of Oyster Group and former employee in Stephen Harper's office. We appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us, Shakir. In all your years in politics, have you ever seen an election play out quite like this one?
It's pretty remarkable. I mean, one, just by the sheer polarized nature of the voters. I mean, the liberals and the conservatives are the only ones really gunning for power right now. But two, even as a conservative, I have to give credit where credit is due. 3 months ago, I would have never thought the liberals would be in this position. I never thought the race would be competitive. And what a change in fortune we've seen over the last 8 or so weeks with the liberals kind of rising in the polls. To even talk about it being neck and neck is actually pretty remarkable.
Yeah, and I want to talk about just some of the key demos that we've been following and looking at. It's been quite interesting to see the difference between how many young voters are who they're looking at in comparison to the baby boomer generation, and I want to get your take on that.
Yeah, I think if you're a younger voter, you're probably not as concerned about investments, obviously not as concerned about retirement, but what do you care about? Housing affordability, groceries, paying rent. I think Pierre Poilievre came into the campaign with that message, and I think it's resonated with a lot of younger Canadians. I think for the baby boomers, those are the folks who are, getting into retirement ages. Those are the folks who have RRSPs, might want to cash out. And I think the threat of Donald Trump, it puts a lot of that at risk. So naturally, they're going to gravitate to a party that they think will be better handling Donald Trump. I think there's a lot of voters out there, especially the older voters, who do view Mark Carney, whether it's based on his resume and his experience, they view him as someone who might be better positioned to tackle the Trump threat that we face right now.
It seems like the trade war and the president himself seemed to be a bit of an Achilles heel for the conservative campaign. And I wonder, what's your take on that and how big of a factor the president's, rhetoric and tweets and, talk of 51st state, how that all impacted the election?
Yeah, there's no doubt that Donald Trump has dominated this election. And I think for my party, the conservatives, it's not that we didn't have an answer for it. I think we didn't pivot strong enough or fast enough to convince voters that we had an answer for it. I feel like someone like Mark Carney, as I said earlier, I think voters, whether it's justified or unjustified, they do view his experience, they view his time as a Bank of Canada governor, Bank of New England governor, that he would probably be the best to navigate our economy during these turbulent times, and be best to deal with Donald Trump. And I think you're seeing that reflected in the polls. The sharp rise of the Liberals didn't happen for no reason. Sure, Justin Trudeau stepped down, but I think the Liberals replaced Justin Trudeau with someone that had a level of credibility to help us navigate the turbulence. And the more Trump talks, the more you see the uptick in Liberal support. So there's no doubt the trade war and Donald Trump himself and the constant tweets have had a dramatic effect on the conservative fortunes to benefit the Liberals.
Well, we'll see what happens. Polls close in just under 5 hours. Lots can happen on Election Day. We'll see. We appreciate your time, Shakir Chambers. Thank you.